Okay, to change the oil, you'll need something to catch the old oil in. You'll need about 4.5 quarts of oil. You'll need a 19mm socket as well as a 22mm socket, which I didn't show. And of course, you also need a new oil filter. So the first thing you want to do is remove the drain plug underneath the car. That's the 19mm, and drain out the old oil into the oil catch pan. And then, while the oil is draining, you should let it drain for a little while, come up to the top of the engine and use the 22mm to remove the lid of the oil filter canister. Once that's out, you'll want to gently lift up to remove the lid. Mine was actually stuck on there a little bit and took a little bit of finagling to get it off. Once I finally got the top off, then you can remove the little spring and you can pull out the old oil filter. Pull it up slowly because it actually is going to dribble out a lot of oil out through the side holes. It's nice to have a little something to catch it in or set it in so that it doesn't drip oil all over your engine. Next, you might want to use a big syringe or a turkey baster or something like that to suck the old oil that is in the bottom of the canister out. That way, you're not mixing your new oil with a bunch of old oil. You'll want to make sure that this gasket is still in good shape if you're going to reuse it, which I actually did because the one in my box that came with the new filter was already torn in half, so I wasn't about to put that in. I looked at the old one and it still looked okay, so I'm just going to reuse it. It's probably a good idea to apply a little bit of oil to this rubber seal here and the one on the other side of the filter as well, just so that it slides on a little bit easier. And I just used the old oil that I had from the old filter. Next, you're going to install the filter into the canister. Just slide it over the little locating pole in there. Takes a little bit to get it past the seal, and just make sure you've got it pushed all the way down. Now it's time to put the drain plug back in. The drain plug on these cars does not have a crush washer, but the drain plug actually is tapered, so it seals pretty well. There's also not a torque spec for this, so you just want to snug it down. You don't want to go too crazy, but tighten it enough so that it doesn't leak. My guess would be it's somewhere in the 20 to 30 foot-pounds range, but I just tightened it down so it was snug and no oil was coming out. It's a good idea to fill up the oil filter canister with some oil so that the engine doesn't have to pump all the oil around and get it back up there, it starts with some oil already in the canister. So I had half a quart already, put that in, and then it took another little bit as well. Just fill it up until it's kind of towards the top of the oil filter. Next, you'll want to go ahead and reinsert the spring with the flat portion down, and then put the lid for the canister on, put the bolt in, and then tighten that all down. Again, this just has to be snug so that it doesn't leak. There is actually a crush washer under the head of this bolt that you should replace every few oil changes. You probably don't have to do it every time if it's not leaking, but good idea to replace it maybe every other oil change. Another thing that you should do every other oil change is remove the access panel for the sump and clean that magnetic panel out, and also probably replace the gasket for that. I didn't have to do that on this oil change, but I definitely will do it next time. All right, you're almost done. Next thing to do is open the oil filler cap and fill the car with oil. Usually it takes about 4.5 quarts in total, but you'll want to check it on the dipstick when you're done. And if you already put about 1/2 quart into the filter, you should take that into account, so maybe you'll just put in 4 quarts. When you check the oil on the dipstick, you'll want to do it on a level surface. So if you put the car on ramps or you jacked it up, you'll want to lower it to make sure it's level for checking the oil. All right, that's it. You're done. Old cars, oil change, pretty simple. Don't forget to reset the oil service reminder light on the dashboard. Oh, wait a minute. No, old cars don't have that, so don't worry. You don't have to do that part.